Good evening and welcome. Welcome to Fight CPS with your host, Bob Pace. Now, normally this live stream is my morning live stream. What happened is that I had lost my connection with SteamYard, the software I use here. So I was sent with a new connection. And when I loaded, normally Fight CPS with Bob Pace is on the lower part, and then my evening part is on the upper part. Well, they had reversed it. It's not my show's producer's fault, but they had reversed it. So what I had to do was that I did my morning show, Fight CPS and Stop Taking Our Children, and now we're doing the Fight CPS with Bob Pace. Both shows are the same, it's just I have two different names for two different shows. My normal show in the morning is Fight CPS with Bob Pace. At night, it's Fight CPS Stop Taking Our Children. Now, my live streams are on at 10 o'clock in the morning, Monday through Friday, and 8 o'clock in the morning on Saturday and Sunday. Now, the evening live stream is on at 7 p.m. every night of the week, all 7 days. So that's 14 live streams I do a week. And I want to give a warm welcome to all of you that have found me and that are coming here to get some help. Also, my regular people that come in here all the time. There's about 30 to 50 of you that are my regulars. I've already spoken to over 2,500 of you, and I've spoken to over 23 countries, including the United States. And I've talked to all the 50 states. And I'm so glad to see Bartley, who just came in the room. Good evening, Bartley. Bartley is from Montana. She is a very remarkable, warm person that's talked to me on the show. She's been fighting her case. She was wrongly attacked. Her home was wrongly uh, broken into by the police. And then they arrested her, all because she had a child that she was trying to protect. What's further has happened with her case is that her partner has turned bad on her. Not only is the agency bad, but her partner was. And her partner has her social security number, money, and he's also trying to get her child. He's not even the biological father, he's a stepfather. And he's trying to get money. It's all about money to him. He wants the money part of things. You guys have to understand CPS is a money thing. It's all money hungry. It's trillions of dollars that CPS generates. They send 1 million from the federal level to the um, state level, and then, they send 1 billion. Wow, I forgot it's $1 trillion business, but billions were sent to the state, and from the state to the counties is millions. So they never have to worry about money. That's what the CPS think. They just want to do is money, 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 and that is wrong. It shouldn't be about that. And hi, Lopez. Good to see you. I think Claudia Lopez is from Los Angeles, California. And then we have Aaron from Tennessee. Good to see you, Aaron. Aaron is from Tennessee. She's a special mom because she has the name of my firstborn. In fact, my firstborn and her are only a month apart. She was born in June. My daughter was born in May, and they're both 36 years old. Um, 36 or is it 33? I'll get confused here. Wait a second. She was born in 89, and so was my daughter. So 90 to 100 is 10, 2000 to 2010 is 20, and 2020 is 30, and 36 years. Yeah, it's 36 years. So we have Erin very nicely in the room, and she's had a bad case of CPS. So we have three of you, and I'm so glad you're welcome here. We have more people in my room. Not everybody's talking, which is fine. And that is really a good thing. It's a good thing. Hopefully, everybody can see me and hear me. I finally got my new computer set up. I keep still having some glitches. With my computer. but something I really needed. It was 7 years old. It wasn't going to be upgradable to Windows 11, and I have the Windows 11 Home Edition, and it's a really good motherboard with a Ultra Intel 9 core processor. It is very fast, and it has a 2 terabyte hard drive. And then for the video card, it's a 5080. The 50 series are new, they're just released in March. So it's got the 5080 series, which is really expensive video card. And it's got a 16-bit of RAM for the video card. Plus, it has another 32 bits of RAM for the computer, upgradable to 64. So I couldn't ask for a nicer computer. It is not the top of the line because that'd be so expensive. I could get the 5090, which is an overkill for what I use it for. The 5080 will work fine. It's also $1,000 more. So I'm already paying a fortune for this computer. Anyway, I am so glad to have you in my room, Claudia and Aaron. And Claudia says, how can I request for the court to do a bonding study and what is it? Okay, I forgot what city you're in, but let me see if I can find it out. Now, this is okay. We had someone try to call in and they cut out here. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can get them back in. He tried to call for a second. Okay, let's see here.
Hello?
Yeah, Jessica, this is Bob Pace on the live stream. Did you want to talk to us tonight?
Yes, please. I would love to. I'm so sorry. I'm late. I've been going through a lot today. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Are you the one that talked to me earlier about your aunt having a meeting with? Okay, I just want to make sure you got the right person. Well, it's so good to talk to you again. And I'm glad you did call me back because I've been worried about you. I'm just so glad you did. Let me see here. Where is it? Okay, great. And I think your name is Jessica, right? Lanita is what the name you gave me, but on the phone, Jessica showed up. I don't know.
Oh, yes, that's been, I don't know why that name has just stuck with the number.
Oh, okay.
But I've had this number
right.
for 5 years now.
Okay. Lanita. Okay. Now, if I remember correctly, let me tell the room. She is from, you're from Illinois, right? No, you're Colorado. She's from Boulder, Colorado.
Yes,
and what had happened is that she was involved in CPS, but apparently she had another CPS matter, and the police were out after her. They were trying to arm wrestle her. She was being quiet, but her dogs weren't not being quiet. So the police broke into her home, broke down the door. She didn't open the door, and she didn't have to, but they broke down the door and they arrested her. Meanwhile, her place wasn't sealed up, and her ex boyfriend came by and pilfered her apartment, took everything, took the food stamps, everything he could take his hands on, which is really sad, which is really, really, really sad. So,
and I also had 2 small children present. So.
right. She had 2 daughters. And so she had 2 daughters, and her boyfriend wasn't involved. He was just a parasite living off her. And so that's sad. But anyway, she had a woman working with her and she had a meeting. How did house meeting go with your aunt?
So the CPS worker met up with my aunt, and
Right.
she saw the place. She spoke to my kids.
Why did she speak to your kids? Because that was not the purpose of the
Sorry?
meeting. That was not the purpose of the meeting. The purpose of the meeting was to have the house looked at, not talk to your kids.
Right. Well, I tried talking to my aunt and telling her, make sure that they don't try to isolate the kids and ask them
Right,
questions
right,
because you represent them. But she's
right.
like, no, you have to comply. And she doesn't really, she's not flexible on
Okay,
wanting to hear what I have to say.
okay, understood.
And I'm like, don't say too much because you're incriminate. Well, anyways, the kids were asked, I asked my kids later what they asked them, and my daughter said that they asked the basic things like, what's your name? How old are you? What school do you go to? And do you want to go back with your mom? And that was it. So I was very relieved that it wasn't more like invasive questions.
Well, they could ask about what the allegations were. I mean, they could have gone one step further. So I'm glad they didn't do that.
Terrified.
Yeah, I know you were. The lady that was helping you out, did she help you out further, or she seemed really anxious? The lady that was helping you.
Yeah, she's my aunt.
Oh,
That's
she
how
was
she is.
the okay. That's why she's a little evasive. Okay. You have to understand,
Yes.
I've talked to 2,500 people. I've been talking to people now for 23 months, and I've heard all the stories. I've talked to social workers, I've talked to foster moms, and I've talked to mothers and fathers. So I have a good range of what they all say. You have to understand they are fishing, because if they had what they wanted against you, they wouldn't need to talk to your children. They wouldn't need to ask information. You see, they have a weak case. They have a case, if I remember correctly, you said there was a videotape showing you abusing your dog and abusing your daughter, right?
So the video, okay, so what had happened was my 9-year-old was walking our 5-month-old puppy, who is full of muscle and just not trained. So she's outside, and then I have the other puppy inside, but she wasn't leashed, and I was grabbing her, I called her, and she was sort of challenging me. You know, all kids do. I opened the door, it swings closed, but before that happens, I pull the dog bonks his head on the side of the door, and then when I reached out, and I didn't do it with ill intent, I've never actually ever do this. I grabbed my daughter by the hair, and then I yank her. During this moment, the neighbor that lives 2 doors down, she yelled that she was going to call the cops. And then I was like, come inside. So then I locked my door. I put the 2 puppies in the kennel. They stayed upstairs. We go upstairs. The cops were knocking. They came in right away. And then they heard the dogs barking. And then my daughter, who stayed down there, she said that she ran back up. I'm sorry. My daughter stayed upstairs. She ran back up and told me that one of the officers saw her through the broken blind curtain.
Right.
And so she said, there's like six cops out there. And after 20 minutes of knocking, they broke my door down. They kicked it down, and then they yelled at me in a way that I thought they were going to draw guns. So I just went downstairs and I lifted up my hands like they said to do, and they detained me. And I had to step outside. My kids were being interrogated by one of the police officers. I don't know if it was 1 or 2.
Right.
And I had to wait 30 minutes, and I told them I don't feel comfortable with my children being asked questions by a stranger. I don't care if they're wearing a badge. You know, you're still a stranger. I don't like what's going on.
what is the case you had before? That's the part that I don't quite understand. You said you had a first case before the second case.
No, no. So I don't have any cases. I've never had any previous cases,
So why
and
did
I
they
don't have
think
any
they came
background of
down?
criminality
Do you
or
think why did
drug
they come
abuse.
down so hard on you? It's almost like they were in a vendetta against you.
Yeah. I don't know. And I was telling the cop in front of me while he was supervising me. I was like, I'm devoted to my kids. I don't have any background of criminality or drug abuse. You know, I love being a mom. I love being pregnant. But they were just dismissing everything I said. And they saw the video footage outside, and they saw that, yes, I did indeed yank her hair, and the dog was pulled, and the dog did bump his head on the side of the door. And then I got charged with child abuse and animal abuse. And then my kitchen was messy, and upstairs it was messy because I was doing laundry.
Well, you also had a
Since I
broken
switched from my house
refrigerator
keys,
and you had food
you know,
that went bad.
right?
I know that. Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that's true. And they said I was neglecting them because my upstairs was messy. And I told them what I had told you about the fridge, so I was in the process of cleaning. And they ended up shoving me in the cop car, and I was just telling them, please call my aunt. She's the one who can pick up my kids. So I went to jail, and I got released on Sunday. So Friday, Saturday, and then I got released Sunday. So now there's a CPS case open, and I feel like, what can I do to pass with flying colors? So the CPS worker came to see my aunt today for an hour and a half, and my kids. She spoke to my kids. She called me and then said, I have to meet with you tomorrow at 3:30 and inspect your house. And then she's going to ask me questions. And I want to know what do you suggest I do to pass with flying colors, or if I need an attorney to speak on my behalf. Maybe it's the culture of these police officers in the county that I live in, which is Boulder.
Right.
But I don't know. I was treated like so unfairly, I think.
Okay. Well, yeah, I definitely. They, you didn't have to post a bond. You said you got out. So I know they didn't have really a strong case criminally against you. Um, they the police can try the same charge that CPS does, but that's not going to work too well. Plus, in criminal court, you get a jury trial. In CPS, you only get a jury trial if you ask for it. And it depends on each state. Not all states allow jury trials. I think all CPS matters should be a jury trial. Reason why I think is you have a better chance at having 5 or 6 people decide your fate than one individual, the judge, who's often very biased.
Exactly.
And so, the criminal matter. I don't. Do you ever know what criminal charge you were charged with?
Yes. It said child abuse ×2 because I have 2 children, and animal abuse because it was on tape that my dog got bonked on the head.
Okay.
But it wasn't with ill intent, and I have never been to jail before.
Understood.
And so this was, I don't know, I just don't want to make the wrong, move.
You're doing fine. You're doing fine, and you're opening up and being very candidly. Now, I do want to address someone in the room that just talking before you. Bartley says, don't forget the 3-day hearing. There's a hearing that takes place in 3 days of your children taken away. Has it been 3 days?
Well, I did have video court while I was in custody. I don't know if that
was that the 3-day hearing? Was that the 3-day hearing?
I think I don't know. I was just told, oh, you have to go to court now, and they're going to tell you what you need to do.
Okay. Claudia
They told me
Lopez,
I can't see my kids.
I'll get right back to you. I'll get right back to you in a second. Claudia Lopez has written in there, how can a request for the court to do a bonding study and what is it? Okay, let me tell you what a bonding study is in California. In the California Child Welfare CPS, a bonding study is a court ordered psychological evaluation of the relationship between a child and their caretakers, whether biological, foster, or prospective adopted parents. Now, I don't know if you're looking for a bonding study with you as the parents, or were they looking at for caretakers or a foster or adopted parents? It has to be conducted by a qualified clinician. The study assesses the quality of attachment and can recommend whether a relationship should be maintained or if a termination of parental rights would harm the child's well being. The process involves observing the parent child interactions, interviewing a family members, reviewing the case history to determine if the bond is so strong that serving it would be detrimental. So I want that to go out to Claudia Lopez. How can you request it? Well, you can make a request in court. You just tell your attorney to request it. If you don't have an attorney and you're pro se, where you mean represent yourself, then you can request it. And then if you do have a court appointed attorney, you can ask them to request it on there. So hopefully that answers you, Claudia Lopez of San Bernardino, California. We have Aaron from Tennessee looking for a question. And then we have Bartley. And Bartley is the one that's really got a similar case than you do. And so she's watching out for your interests. She's watching out for interests. You want to make sure you never sign anything when you're dealing with CPS. You have to be careful what you're signing. You need your attorney to approve anything that you sign.
Mhm.
So they had this meeting today. You think it went well then?
My aunt hasn't spoken in depth, but she did say that everything seemed fine.
Okay.
It was just one thing that my kids kept saying. My kids weren't really trying to answer the questions that they were asking them.
Okay.
And they said, ask my aunt. And so my aunt, who was very anxious, she was like, why did they answer to the question was, do you want to go back to your mom? And why did you answer, ask my aunt?
That makes no sense. It's nothing to do with that. So,
I don't know.
wow.
My aunt was overly anxious. I'm not very sure if that happened. But when I asked my daughter, she said she nodded yes, that she wanted to come back home with me.
Okay, good.
I just don't feel, I don't know. I don't know how to go about this.
Well, it's hard because what you're trying to do, what is on for tomorrow? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. What's on for tomorrow?
The CPS worker wants to meet me and inspect my house tomorrow at 3:30.
Well, you need to have an attorney. Remember, I told you do not meet with them until you have an attorney? Yeah. Okay. And you can tell them that. You have to tell them the way I lead into it, or the way you should lead into it. When they ask, they want to inspect your home or talk to you, your question to them is this a legal matter? If they say it's legal, then you have a right to request your attorney be present. And you tell them that you need to get your attorney present to meet with you. And where you like to meet is at some place like Starbucks, the public library, or McDonald's, some place where you can take pictures and record information. Because they don't like to have pictures taken or record. But you got to document because they are corrupt. They are corrupt.
I did offer, I asked, can we meet in a public place? Because, well, I didn't say my door got kicked down because I didn't want to say details. I just said, I'm having a repair. Can I meet in a public place, and she said, nope, it has to be in your house. That's fine. We can have the repairs. We have to meet in your house.
Well, you just saying to get my
And
attorney present, we can meet in my house. It's up to your attorney. Now, you mentioned you had about $3,000 for retainer. So hopefully we can find an attorney for you. Hopefully we can find an attorney for you in Boulder, Colorado.
that's what I'm trying to find out what the next step would look like, because I am a single parent who is surviving off EBT right now.
Yeah.
And has been through domestic violence for 9 years.
Yeah.
And that's just been tormenting me. So the finances aren't very good right now.
Nothing to be embarrassed about
But
that.
I was trying to save up for a vehicle, but if that means I need to use that money for an attorney, I can.
Right.
So I have to ask the CPS worker, is this a legal matter? And
Well,
most likely you're saying the answer is yes.
Yeah, they're going to say, yes, it is. That's when you got to say, I need to have my attorney present, because in all legal matters, you're entitled to a attorney.
Okay. And so this won't go against me in any way. They would just postpone the date, right? I'm just going to say, I need to postpone the date because.
Well, you just need to have your attorney. You determine, is this a legal matter? If they say yes, it's a legal matter, then you got to have an attorney present. You're required. Your Constitution says you're allowed that. Now, I just looked up Boulder, Colorado, CPS, juvenile law, family law, and dependency law. And the first law firm I come up with is called the Jones Law Firm. They have 20 years of helping. I guess they're out of Denver. That's one attorney. And what you want to do is you want to get 3 attorneys.
Okay.
Another one is Vincent W. Davis, because he'll go to any state. And I already know that he meets all the requirements. I already know what his price is. I know what his price is.
Would the lawyer have to be present, or can the lawyer contact the CPS workers through phone?
Well, no, a lawyer is going to be present, because they have to say yay or nay when they're sitting there inspecting your home. Now, this is going to give you time to clean up your home, to get rid of any bad items that are on the countertops or endanger the kids. Things like electrical outlets have to be covered. I don't know what kind of protective measures you have on your kids. When I first started out with my kids, I had doorknobs that were loose. They couldn't open the door. Because these doorknobs were put on protection. They couldn't put their fingers or objects into electrical outlets because I had them blocked. On the stove, I had a protector where they couldn't touch the stove. So I childproofed the house. I had special locks on all the cupboards so they couldn't open the cupboards. It's safety locks. You have to do a 2-step process to open them. So what you need to do is prepare your home for them, and you need some time. And how you can get that time is ask for time to get your attorney aboard. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to ask 2 other attorneys. I'm going to give you Vincent Davis. That's an easy one. But 2 other attorneys. And they're available. I just see it right now. I just see it right now.
I wonder how flexible he would be to come to Boulder.
Well, here's the problem. To come to Boulder, I'd have to get a quote for him. I'm telling you right now, for him to go to Atlanta, Georgia, it's 125. To go to Wisconsin, it's 125K. I don't know how much would be in Boulder, but you have to know that Vincent will have to fly there by jet. So the cost of air transportation. When he gets there, he'll need a car rental. So there's the weekly car rental he'd have. And then, if you have to get a place, you don't have a place. Well, I meant excuse me, let me retract all that. He needs accommodations and a place to eat. He needs food and accommodations. So those are all added expenses. Lastly, he'll need a license to practice in that state. He can practice in any state, but they have to get licensed. No one keeps 50 licenses. It's too expensive. It's too expensive.
Right.
But there are a lot of CPS lawyers in Boulder, Colorado. And I have no idea because the first thing you got to do is you got to ask them two important questions. Two important questions. And the question one is you ask them, are they a juvenile law, family law, dependency law lawyer, and have they fought CPS cases and won? And make sure when you say one that they have some grid lines down below in the chest so it comes up what they're looking for.
Okay. So the first question you said, I asked, are you a juvenile law, family law, and dependency law
Attorney.
um,
Attorney who has fought CPS and gotten children back. You have to say who's fought CPS and got children back. If they tell you the answer is yes, then your next question is, have you ever filed a lawsuit after my case is over and won money back both in state court or federal court? So you can file a lawsuit and get millions of dollars. Vincent has done that. He's got millions of dollars with the lawsuit.
Could you repeat that one more time, that second question?
Okay, the second question is, when your case is over, have you ever done a lawsuit against CPS and won money back, either in state court or federal court? The social worker in my case lied on the stand. I could get her very easily for her lying on the stand.
Okay, so I wrote the questions down.
Okay, good.
I'm just hoping that worker won't retaliate in some form.
Well, not if you're pleasant, not if you're pleasant, if you're rude or nasty, but say very little. Just say, I need to have my attorney present to talk to you. It's my civil rights to have an attorney present through all facets of my legal matter. If this is a legal matter, which it is, if they're charging you, and you need to find out what they're charging you with. What are they charging you with? Neglect, abuse, or both?
They charged me with animal abuse and
that's not a CPS matter. That's a whole separate criminal matter. That's handled by the Colorado police, not by CPS.
Okay, so why are they? Well, because of the report, I'm assuming because the report was child abuse, then that's why they showed up. The cops showed up with the CPS people.
Well, no, the cops, the CPS people got a phone call from your neighbor, and they called the cops
Oh,
to protect them. Is what happened.
oh, I see.
Okay, so
And they
so
told me
what
because they
happened is
didn't open my door. That's
your
what I
neighbor
thought.
called, and then the CPS called the police because they want protection. They're afraid of themselves. It's also a ploy by the CPS workers to intimidate you as a mother because these cops will come wearing battle fatigues and act very rudely and carelessly.
Yes, that's why I told them after they broke my door down. They're like, why didn't you open the door? We've been knocking for 20 minutes. And I said, why would I if you don't have a warrant? I don't have a reason to open the door. And they said, well, when it's a child abuse report, that's not how that doesn't apply.
No, it says,
That's what they told me.
yeah, it's not. They don't know the law. A warrant
Well,
can be
the
issued.
police, that's
Okay.
what they said.
Well, that's fine. And what your problem is, you're talking to them. And every time you talk to them, they're using the words against you. Now, I don't know because I wasn't there. I don't know where the puppy dogs were or your daughter was when they broke in the door. I don't know if you all were hiding in the closet.
We were upstairs, sort of, you could say hiding, upstairs in the bedroom. And they just started breaking the door down and yelled at me. And I had a feeling, I don't know, the way the male officer yelled at me, I thought it sounded like they were about to pull guns. So I went downstairs and with my hands up, like they said, and then they detained me. Yeah.
Well, you should also ask them what I'm being charged with. And also, you should ask them, I need my phone call to call my lawyer.
I didn't say that.
I know.
But
I know that. I'm just
yeah.
telling the people that are listening what they need to do when police come into your home. They can only get in your home of one of three ways. One, you let them in, or a family member lets them in. Two, your children are being harmed. There's physical noise going on. If the dogs are barking and the child's screaming, then they can break the door down and come in. And then three is if you or someone else in the home gives them permission, they can come in. They're supposed to have a warrant, which tells what they can do and not do. When they don't have a warrant, then you know that things are bad and that they're not going to be on your side. They're trying to take advantage of you.
And that's what they did. And they shoved me in the cop car and took me to jail for 2 days. But luckily, my kids went to my aunt's house. But now there is a CPS case open. And I don't know if I could afford a lawyer.
You didn't mention about a Florida lawyer, but go ahead.
No, that's what I'm worried about. But I can definitely tell them I need to postpone the appointment for tomorrow. So
Because you need your attorney. Yeah, you need your attorney present. All you have to do is ask them, is this a legal matter? If it's a legal matter, you say it's your constitutional rights to have an attorney present. So that's going to stall them and give you some time.
I'm wondering if that CPS worker would retaliate in some way since my kids are with my aunt and say, well, I guess she's not cooperating. Then, I'm just sort of.
Well, they are. They're retaliating because they want money. It's all about money. It's an evil group, and you got a bad group in Boulder, Colorado. You got a bad group.
Mm-hmm. My aunt said that the worker told her it could take 2 weeks or it could take months. So as long as you cooperate, it could take 2 weeks, and this could be over. I just able to pass with flying colors, or
Well, it's not going to happen
I don't
like
know.
you think it's not going to have a storybook ending. What you need to do is
Right.
preserve your rights. You need to stand up for your rights. You need to do some research on the internet. After you hang up with me, you want to spend hours. You want to reference the your constitutional rights and civil rights, the Fourth Amendment, the 18th Amendment, the different amendments that protect you. You need to study them. You're going to spend hundreds and hundreds of hours on the internet to check them out.
So if I'm unable to hire a lawyer who has this background of fighting CPS and helping get children back, then I'm going to have to call the CPS worker and say, and sort of represent myself, right?
Right.
And then she might say, well, I have to go in your house and inspect it because they deemed it dirty and unfit for kids to live there. So I'm wondering, do they need to see? I just feel sort of bullied.
Well, you just need to not talk to them. The less you talk to them, the better off you are. It should be yes, no answers. And just do a smiley face, and that's it. They're hoping they can, break you and have you say something that would incriminate you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if I'm unable to get a lawyer, then I speak to her and I meet with her. She's insisting on meeting in my home.
Well, you can meet at McDonald's or you can meet at Starbucks, or the public library. You need to take pictures and document everything.
But if she says, well, you're not cooperating, I said, in your home.
No, you just say it's my legal right that I can have an attorney represent me, and you have no right to get in my home. You have no right. You have to you have to give me a warrant.
Okay.
You have to give me a warrant.
I'm just writing this down.
I understand. It's hard. It is a hard thing. You should have yourself a notebook, a journal.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, my rule number two, besides my rule number one, is get an attorney. Rule number two is get yourself a 6-inch notebook, 3-ring, and put all your paperwork in there. You need to create a journal to track everything so your two daughters, so if something happened to you, they have something to remember you by. You also need a time log incident form that you can create where you devote 3 sentences to every incident you may encounter: the police, the social workers, the school, even your children. When they fill out the thing, you're looking at your net, and then you want to look at. Try to think here.
Also, I wanted to add, on my fridge, on a magnet,
Yeah.
I have things, because 3 years ago, the CPS, there was a DV incident with my kid's dad, and they said, well, we're going to have to do a welfare check. And I researched as much as I could, and I wrote things down on how to protect myself. I didn't open the door, and they showed up with an officer to intimidate me. But they never took my kids or saw my kids once. Eventually, they gave up. They just left the business card. But with one of those papers that I had written down, all this information that I learned through the attorney assistant.
Yes.
I have that currently on my fridge, and I feel like they might have not liked that at all. Seeing,
There's nothing wrong with that, and you can remove it and put it down temporary.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's sort of humorous because if you are the more prepared you are, maybe the less they can manipulate you.
Right, right.
So you should have a time log incident form to track
Yes,
everything,
that's
all the
like you
interactions.
get a ream of notebook paper and you devote 3 lines for each incident. So if you have 100 incidents, you have 3 times 100, that's 300 lines. So you have line one, you write down the incident, whether it happened at your home or did it happen at another place? Was it on the phone? So if it was on the phone, you just record the number, the date, and time. If it was in your home, you record the date and time, the location. And so what you do with the first sentence is you put down the date and time, and if it was in the home, they were at your home, or you're at their office, or you're at a neutral place like the public library, or McDonald's, or England.
Okay, I have a question.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So it's me and my aunt were talking, and we were thinking of like show them that you are doing therapy and anger management and all this stuff that speaks well about you.
Well, you don't want to do anything unless they ask you to do things. There's a lot of parenting classes that you can take. They're going to tell you what they have something called a case plan. You ask them, what is your case plan? Your case plan will say this is reunification and the following things must be done before the children returned. One, take a parenting class, whatever level that means. Two, do an anger management program, which may be 52 weeks, which is a long time. So you need that. You need that.
I need to ask, what is my case plan?
Yes, because they've got to do a case plan. It outlines what you need to do to have your children returned to you.
Can I do that without them meeting me in my home?
You can. The purpose of meeting in your home is they want to inspect your home. And you don't want to give them permission. They need a warrant to inspect your home.
Okay. I just have my aunt who is watching my kids who is extremely anxious, and she's like, you have to do what they say. You have to.
Well,
and so that was sort of her idea, like show them everything you've already done. But I'm like, I can't self-incriminate. I say stuff that's going to be used against me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm still pressured by my aunt in a way.
Well, you just got to be courteous to your aunt because she's taking care of your 2 girls. You got to be careful with your aunt. Just be nice to her and thank her for taking care of your 2 girls. You don't want to get your aunt angry at you because they'll take away the children and put them in foster care.
Okay.
What
else do you suggest I ask the CPS worker?
What do you mean, what house?
Like, what do I need to know? Or you said, ask what is my case plan, and then what else do I need to ask?
Well, they should give you to in writing a case plan. They should also have in writing how the children are being taken care of. Are they going to be with your aunt being taken care of or what?
Okay. So if my aunt is taking care of them, is there a necessity for a CPS case to be open?
Well, yes, there still is. Hold on one second.
Okay.
Hey, John, Do you want to enjoy spaghetti with us tonight? Okay. I'm just checking with my son, who just came home from school. Um, the case plan is something they develop in the first couple of days. That's the case plan is about reunification. Um, Let me try to find out Boulder. By the way, I want you to do the same thing by researching. Okay. Also, want you to write down Chat GPT. You got that written down?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that last part?
Chat GPT.
Oh, Chat GPT?
Yeah, that's an AI person that can help you with your case.
Oh,
It's
if I
free.
just type in like what's going on exactly?
Well, it's a little bit more better than Google Browser. It really tells you in depth what you're looking for.
I'm not sure what to type in there.
Okay, you type in Boulder, Colorado, and you type in CPS, and then whatever subject you're looking for. Like I just typed in Boulder, Colorado CPS case plan, and all this stuff is coming up here. Now they call in Colorado CPS, they call it Department of Children and Family Services. No, they call them CPS, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, in Boulder County, Child Protective Service creates an individual case plan for every family receiving ongoing services after investigation. The goal of a CPS case plan is to address the safety concerns that brought the family to the attention of child welfare, pulling your child's hair, slamming the dog against the wall. Now, see, the dog is not part of CPS. That's a whole separate issue. That's got to be done separately with the ultimate aim of safety of reunifying the family whenever possible. Now, key aspects of the plan. The primary purpose is to outline the steps and services necessary to protect the child and increase the parent's protective capacity and self sufficiency. It's a collaborative process. It's developed with family input, so you need to give input to your case plan. The safety plan. This is an immediate short term plan intended to manage immediate threats to a child's safety. You have to find out what threats the child has. What are the threats that they're saying that they are necessary to arrest you? Then there's the treatment plan. This is a longer term strategy designed to enhance caregiver functions, increase protective capacities, and promoting self sufficiently. So while a CPS
They said
case,
my place was messy and that my
okay,
kids could die. It says it in my
okay,
charges that
that's fine. Those are the safety concerns. So what you need to do is that you need to maybe take a parenting class of how to keep your house clean and organized.
okay.
I know it sounds stupid, but
I know, I'm sorry.
yeah, this is
No, I'm
something.
actually taking a parenting class right now that
Okay,
helps them how to get skills for emotional regulation to
okay,
change
okay,
the emotional climate of the home.
okay,
And I just started that. This is my second week. I just
okay.
don't know if I need to show us all of these things or if
Well, what you
I
do
should
is
wait
you'll get
until
a
they ask me.
certificate. You'll keep a notebook. You'll put your notebook together 6 inches thick, a 3 ring binder. You'll get your tabs, and each of the tabs will be a subject tab. So you put one tab, parenting classes, another tab, program classes, another tab, court papers, another tab, social worker papers, another tab, safety plan, another tab, um, timeline incident, timeline incident. So you have all these separate tabs to organize all your notes. And in 6 months time you'll have lots of incidents to write down. Anytime there's an incident, your first line is devoted to the date and time of the incident, whether it was on the phone or whether it was in person that you went somewhere. Also, you need to put the people that were involved. The second line will be what the summary of the incident was about. What was the summary of the incident? Just a one sentence summary. Then the third line will be the outcome. When the thing is over, how did it end? If it has not ended, then keep it open. And then as time goes on, you eventually fill it out. So that's what an incident log is all about. Is that making sense?
I do want to ask you for.
Go
Yes,
ahead.
I'm writing this down. The very first thing, I forgot what you had said. Like in the 3-ring binder, the tab.
Oh, you want to get a list of tabs. You buy the tabs. There's like 20 tabs.
Right. The first thing, I don't know if you remember the first thing you had said.
Well, I think the first thing I was talking
maybe.
about was the incident form or the parenting classes certificates or the program certificates. Let's say you were tested with drug testing, so you got to be drug tested all the time. There'd be a drug test.
Right.
What I'm trying to do is that, see,
Right.
my CPS case was 4 feet thick. If you could stand it on end on the floor, it was the height of one of your children. And so, as time goes on, you're going to gather documentation. Because you won't be able to remember everything, and documentations will help bail you out.
Right. I want to interrupt you. I'm sorry. My aunt said, "Why would you need to get?" Because when you were talking, I had told her that I have to ask, "Is it a legal matter?" And she'll most likely say yes, and then I say that it's my legal right for an attorney to represent me.
Right. The reason why you need to determine that, you have to lead into having the meeting postponed. You need to have that meeting postponed. And the way to do so is you have the social worker say to you, yes, it's a legal matter. Then you just tell them it's my constitutional rights to have an attorney present at all facets of this. You don't want to use a court appointed attorney. You want to try to get your own legal attorney. Yes, a background.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is there such a thing as families of low income to be able to hire?
Well, yeah, there is low income attorneys, but I can't guarantee in Boulder, Colorado, if there'll be any available. It's called pro bono. And pro bono means they'll do a case with not charging, which you can't depend on those attorneys. To be honest with you, a good attorney is going to cost you some money. Now, there may be an attorney that may do your retainer for $3,000. But I don't know if you can get a loan out, if you can take out a loan.
Well, I wanted to share, so I shared that with my aunt, and she said, that's not, why would you do that? That's not necessary if the CPS worker.
Well, let me explain something to you. Let me tell you the horror stories of CPS, okay? In Arizona, there's a group of 8 social workers that worked in Prescott, Arizona. Now, Prescott, Arizona is known for the Billy Jack movies. I don't know if you heard about Billy Jack or something, but it's an activist that was happening in the late 60s, early 70s. Prescott, Arizona is home of many Indian tribes, and the Indian children and Indian people are low income. Well, Billy Jack was a movie and it was made famous. There's like 4 movies of it. Anyway, Prescott had a agency called Department of Children's DCS Services. That was their CPS. And they had 8 social workers. Well, they decided one day to purchase pink t shirts. Now, it wasn't because they were thinking of breast cancer awareness. Pink is a color associated with breast cancer. Okay. They were doing it to have something else stenciled on the pink t shirts, a white lettering. And on the front of the t shirts, they very proudly stenciled professional child kidnappers. And on the back, they very happily had put, parents, do you know where your children are? And they prayed to walk around Sam's Club, Costco, Kmart, Walmart, Target, Best Buys, all the big chain stores, Sears, May Company. I can go on and on. And they did that for a whole day. Well, the town saw that, and all these calls came in, and the government town there, fired all 8 social workers, including a ninth person who was the director of the Department of Children's Services there in Prescott. So that is the kind of individuals that you're dealing with. If that's not bad, let me tell you another one. My daughter was being taken away by my wife's sister and husband. They were trying to adopt her. And the social worker was asked by my attorney, Vincent Davis, on the witness stand, is my wife's daughter and husband good parents? And the social worker says they're excellent parents. And then my attorney says, well, have they ever been involved in domestic violence? And the social worker said, no, not involved at all. And then he pulled out a folder and he looked at the social worker that was on the witness stand who had testified underneath oath. Could you tell me about this report on such and such a date and time? Then he read the whole report. He did this report after report after report. But these reports weren't only them two arguing, it was where they were hitting each other, they were fighting each other. The police came out and they investigated and they wrote a report, domestic violence between the couple, fighting, physically fighting. So they were not a good candidate to be adopting our daughter. But what this social worker did is that she retaliated because she was embarrassed. She was caught with a lie. She committed perjury. So she told us parents, you're never going to see your daughter. And we did not know that she'd do this. But the social worker took my daughter along with the CASA support. Now, I want to tell you, I don't trust CASA. There are ears for CPS. Every time they try to put a court appointed advocate for kids, they're supposed to advocate your rights, but they don't. That CASA person and the social workers told my daughter, our daughter, that you're going to change your name, you're going to seal your birth certificate and get a new one, you're going to get a second social security card so she could double dip for my retirement fund because she was already getting money for my first social security card, and that she would have her birth certificate sealed and get a new birth certificate, and then she was going to be adopted by these foster care people. She did all this. She told our daughter was 12. Our daughter didn't know all these things. But that social worker and that CASA person did that. And that is wrong. So if any of you are listening, I'm against CASA. I'm against CPS because they lie and they retaliate. And if you're ever thinking about trying to be nice to them or reasoning, share with your aunt the story of the pink ladies in Prescott, Arizona, or share the story of my daughter, who's now 23. I've not seen her since she's 12 years old, is no longer my daughter. She will always be my daughter. I have her birth certificate. Even though it's sealed and she has a new one, I have the one that she was given birth by her biological parents. I always will be her father. My wife will always be her mother. So I'm telling you, don't worry about what your aunt thinks or social workers thinks or anything else. You have to preserve your rights. You have something called the Constitution of the United States that will protect your rights. You have the Fourth Amendment, the Sixth Amendment, the Second, the First, the 18th Amendment. There's so many amendments in the Constitution that will protect your rights. You have your civil rights. And in your civil rights, it says if you're ever involved in a legal matter, you're entitled to an attorney through all phases of the legal matter. And if you cannot afford an attorney, one will be given you. But the attorney you give them to will not fight for your case. They're not qualified. They're not trained in juvenile law, family law, or dependency law. They are hired by CPS, they're paid by CPS, and they have a caseload of 30 to 100 clients. They don't have time for your case, and you'll be losing. They will not fight for you. That's why you need to get an attorney, because that's the only thing that's going to help you. Now, if you cannot afford an attorney and you have no money, then you're going to have to put up with the system. You have to do everything the social worker asks you to do. You have to train yourself to say very little. Do not say any more than yes or no answers. Do everything they ask. You'll eventually get your child back. And if you want to, you can use that court-appointed attorney. You can tell them that if they don't perform, that you will report them to the state bar and have their license removed. There are things you can do for that. Go ahead.
Can you repeat that very part?
Okay. If you have a court-appointed attorney, you can tell them if they do not perform that you will call the state bar. In your case, I think Denver is the capital of Colorado, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So you'd call Denver State Bar and say, I want to report attorney such and such a name that's doing negligence on my CPS case, and you want to report them. They'll investigate him. If they can see he is doing negligence, they will strip his law license. They'll strip his law license.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Now, I feel bad because I've talked my whole show to you, and I didn't have anybody else. Aaron asked about legal insurance. Aaron, you can get legal insurance. That is available. Now, Bartley says to tell you you have the right to pick your own providers, and she doesn't want to use theirs. You don't want to use theirs. Now you use your aunt's. Now, Britannica McCarrett, thank you for calling in. And I used the chat GBT for 90% of my case, even when it was the talk down. I still use it, and there's tricks and stuff that I've come across. I'm so glad you support me, Britannia. Carrie Simpson, welcome you. You're from Burke County, Georgia. Make sure you tell her she needs to get copies of everything she signs with these safety plans. You need to. Thank you, Carrie. She's telling you to get copies of everything you sign. Britannia says, because I've basically done my case crochet, or I had to do all my research pro, stay having the ineffective counsel. If she wants help or just someone to talk to through the process, you can contact her on Facebook. My family here in this room will tell you to help you. Carrie Sampson will. Bartley will. Britannica McCarrett will. I should put these guys up on the screen so you can copy their names down. Bartley says they're trying to scare you because you're young. They are trying to scare you. Elizabeth Hurd needs legal help, she says. I want to help you, Elizabeth. Can you call me back tomorrow at 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time? Britannia says, did they find to be immediate danger in order to break down the door? What was the immediate danger? Did the policeman say what the immediate danger was?
No, they just said, we have been knocking on the door for 20 minutes and you didn't open your door. That's why we had to break it down.
No, that's not a justifiable reason. It's got to be the child is in danger. You got to say that.
Nobody was in danger.
Well, that's fine, but that is your criminal case. You're going to fight them on a criminal. You have two cases going with you. You have criminal law and you have family law, the dependency juvenile family law. You have CPS you have to deal with, and then the criminal. The criminal may drop out because they don't have anything to jurisdiction on. Now, Britannica, here's what she found for Boulder City. The federal state law experience Scott Jordan, JURDM, has over 40 years of experience in both federal and state criminal defenses, including child abuse and domestic violence cases. But I don't know if he is child protection. You need to make sure they deal with child protection. There's no publicity information available indicating that Jordan has taken action after CPS cases have been closed. So that is a negative thing. Two Dolan Zimmerman federal state laws. Okay, she has some legal information. She's trying to help you find an attorney. Now, also, Bartley says, do not forget to get a no contact order on your partner. If you have a partner that ransacked your place, you need to tell the police you want to file a no contact order against your partner. That means they have to stay 100 yards away from your place and from you. Do you understand that?
Yes.
No contact
So
order.
do I have to make I have to make a police report and then
Yes.
request?
Yes. You make a police report and you say that your partner broke in your home and stole all your things there and you want a no contact order. You will have to go to court about the no contact order and prove to court that he was the guy that broke into your home that's been harassing you.
Oh,
And Bartley
I
says
have
you have to declutter the house. Bartley says you need to declutter the house. Now, Aaron
okay, so then
says,
I let
yeah, Aaron
yes,
says,
sorry.
Aaron just says, just say I'm not speaking to you without an attorney. That's all you have to tell the social workers. And you cannot come in without a court order. I will not drug test without a court order as well. That's what Aaron says. So you do not do drug testing. You don't allow them in your home unless they have a court order.
And they don't, I'm guessing?
No, they don't
If they do,
because
then
they don't have any reason. See, it's a weak thing taking advantage of you. And never answer any questions without the attorney present. And there are programs, so I hope you get a car, Aaron says. Otherwise, stay outside your house if they show up. Don't go in your house. Don't go in your house.
but the police broke my door down, and so that's where I'm at a disadvantage because
Well,
she'll just
they're
walk
going to
right
have
in.
to answer to that. They illegally broke your door down. There was no cause for them to broke it down. When you do your criminal trial, they have to prove there was danger to your children. Just because you didn't answer the door does not give them grounds to break down a door. They have to say that they heard your child screaming or your child put a help an SOS sign in the window. If your child put an SOS sign or help in the window, they can break down the door.
Okay.
It's a lot I give you, but this doesn't stop now because I'll talk to you again tomorrow. But I do have to end my show. I do have to end my show. I want to
Okay,
thank.
thank you. Do you
Go ahead.
I just wanted to say, do you suggest I get legal insurance, or what is that about?
Oh, the legal insurance is
Or how
something
would
you
that
need to get
benefit?
ahead of time. And that's where it's like your home insurance, your medical insurance, your life insurance, your appliance insurance, your household insurance, your car insurance. There's all these insurance where you get something called legal insurance. It's where they can pay the retainer. They can pay the 50,000 or the $100,000 retainer. They can pay the lawyer fees, but you need to get legal insurance. And there are people that are licensed that give legal insurance. I'm not talking about Legal Shield. I'm not talking about do yourself kits. I'm talking about the real legal insurance.
Okay, I'm gonna have to vet.
That's something you need to look into. That's something you need to look into. But anyway, I want to thank all my fallen people tonight. First, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for opening up and expressing things. And I think you'd be fine if you listen to what I say, and you can come back again and again. I want to thank Bartley from Montana for all the support you've given this girl. She needs it. Claudia Lopez, thank you also She had asked what a bonding study is. A bonding study is, here's what a bonding study is. A bonding study is a psychological evaluation relationship between a child and their caregivers, whether they're parents, biological, foster, or prospective adoptive parents. It's conducted by a qualified clinician. The study assesses the quality of attachments, can recommend whether a relationship should be maintained or terminated. So you got to be careful about that. You got to be careful about that. Okay, Claudia. All right. Thank you, Claudia. And Bartley, I've already talked about Aaron from Tennessee. Thank you. Who else we got? Britannica McCormick. I don't know where you're from, but thank you. Elizabeth Hyde, thank you. You say you need legal help. Call again tomorrow. I'll help you. I'll help you. Carrie Sampson, thank you for the suggestions and the help. Aaron Bartley. Justin Elther. I know about the medical malpractice covered by CPS. That's a terrible thing, Justin, to deal with. Call again tomorrow. We can talk about further. Jane Wisely. My son is in Madison, Kentucky, and has had his civil rights violated. He needs help. I want to help you, Jen Wisely. Calling in tomorrow at 10 o'clock. And Justin Elder says, head trauma to my 3-year-old. Was never told. They said nothing. The mother lost them. I have them go to hospital records, 32 pages, and they never knew, so got the hospital records. That is terrible. Aaron, illegal search and seizure is what happened in your case. Justin Elter, so they did an urgent referral to Dalhousie University, the sanctioned hospital. Wow, I need to know more about that. A lot more to it. I know, Justin. He had 4 febrile seizures, one blew to the lips, over 5 minutes, all held from me. All right, Bartley, keep praying. I like that. And I know it's hard, Justin, and thank you for sharing it. I want to thank all of you. I want to thank my emojis. I had 2 hearts from Teresa sees you and Nikki Luther. Thank you. And Teresa sees you. Thank you for the thumbs up. Please, people, do not give up. Keep fighting for your family. There will be a brief video when I end the show that you can watch. There'll be a brief video. I'll be on again tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. God bless y'all. This is Bob signing off.
A vivid picture is encrypted in your mind as the critics get in line like they're witnessing a crime. But then you notice there's a shiver in your spine from the feelings of discontentment and bitterness combined. Heartbroken when you listen to the judges, another kid's innocence corrupted. And if you go against it, it's destructive. Consider this predicament the toughest, but we believe in a system fit for justice. Child Protective Services only pretends to save it. The one solution for this is worthy of instant praises. 30 years of experience with relentless cases. Allow me to introduce them. This is Vincent Davis defending you when they don't think a mother fits the role. Is it juvenile dependency or government control? Observe the pain in their eyes. It's time for us to realize we are the last one.